You know my game, huh, bro? You know
Yeah,
my game.
yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to the Superhero Cuts podcast. It's your boy Stevie Hayes. This is where we talk about things Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. Joined by my boy, my best friend Jerry. How are you, dog? What's going on?
I'm great, bro. How are you?
Good, bro. Happy to be on the show. I feel like we've been recording a lot lately, which is also
Yeah.
fun. We hope you guys enjoyed the episode Thursday with the Cosmic Collector. Shout out to him, man. If you want to get to know just about comics and what to read, etc., he has a really cool TikTok, so check him out. It was a fun show. So
Wait, real quick.
what's up?
Let's post on all the socials.
Okay, we will do that. Yeah, there's nobody here. We can do the YouTube. But yeah, guys, we are just so happy to be on today because obviously this week is Venom week, and Venom: The Last Dance is dropping this Thursday, and it's just been a pretty wild road to Venom. And I think that a lot of people I feel like aren't as excited, but a lot of people are very interested. So I really wanted to dig into just Venom in general and the Sony universe. So Jerry, so how do you feel about Venom the Last Dance? Like, are you excited? Are you not excited? Like, what is your emotions?
I think it's going to be a good movie. I don't think it's going to blow us away. Like, I think it's going to be fun and it's going to be entertaining. To be more specific than just good. Listen, one of the things Sony does a great job with, and I know there's going to be people who are going to roast me, but like they do a good job with the effects. They do a good job with the sound. And for a movie like this, that's important. Tom Hardy is a phenomenal actor. He delivers in the role. You know, the first Venom I thought was better than good. I don't know if I would say great, but like I didn't have high expectations for it. So I was really happy with it. And then Venom Let There Be Carnage, like it was fun, but it wasn't a good movie. I think that everyone's hopes are up for this one. The trailer did a lot of work. I think the title is doing a lot more work than people realize. And I also think obviously Null is the biggest thing here. But before they announced Null, people were excited for this movie. Like things like the symbiote horse that was in the first leak or the first like short trailer, whatever it was, that was trending online. That had people going crazy. There are clowns on the internet. One of them who didn't even want to argue with me. He was like, you know what, you could just have it. But I called him out because he was like, Carnage is carrying the comic book industry. I'm like, okay, be careful on the internet because
That's nasty.
yeah, but if you just believe anyone, you're going to believe someone who says Carnage carries the industry. And, I think he's friends with, our other buddy Nerd, he's probably watching, even though he wouldn't admit it. So he's going to be upset that I kind of, name dropped them. But it is what it is. You want to come fire shots, you're going to pay the price.
Wait, hold on. The dude said Carnage is carrying.
No, not Nerd, but
No. I'm saying the dude. What?
Yeah.
Is
so
that
I called him out on X?
Yeah, because I know that there's like an Eddie Brock Carnage comic that's dropping, right? Or
I
like
haven't even
coming
been
out.
reading the Venom Carnage stuff. I'm gonna binge through Venom War. I think it just finished.
You're gonna like it, bro. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But regardless, like even if Carnage is a big character in Venom,
Yeah, it's
War,
not carrying comic. That's crazy,
bro. Carnage isn't even in like the top 10 superheroes in terms of sales. Like that's just a crazy claim. Like you could say you like Carnage, and for me, like the only comics I'm really excited about are Carnage comics, which is a weird thing to say because if someone's saying that, they obviously don't really read comics.
Yeah,
but you could say that, like you could technically only be excited for Carnage character, but you can't say he is carrying the. If Carnage was carrying the comic book industry, the comic book industry wouldn't exist. Okay.
Yeah, we will be cooked if Carnage was carrying the comic book industry. So with Venom, the Last Dance, I thought that, I mean, per usual, right? This movie has sold hard off of what it has the past two films, theories, and the possible thoughts of it connecting to Spider-Man. And I do think, I'm going to be honest, like I am not expecting it to be drop dead amazing. And the Venom 2, I hated it. I thought it was complete utter trash. Venom 1 is watchable, but it's just not my cup of tea. All I care about, to be honest, when it comes to Venom: The Last Dance, is the ending. Because my theory is that Eddie Brock will become the King in Black. He will be the symbiote god, and he will be in control of all of the symbiotes. I think that Tom Hardy has been selling this thought that Eddie Brock is going to die, and I think there's a reason behind that, because I think there's going to be something greater that they have planned for Eddie Brock. And with the announcement of, which we have on our docket, but with the announcement of the Spider-Verse versus the Venomverse, I wouldn't be shocked if that could maybe come to live action sooner than we think. But I really love this idea of Eddie Brock becoming the symbiote god in the Sony, universe, and the possible thoughts of that connecting to the MCU as well. So yeah, man.
There
I, I
was
think I think Eddie Brock has something. I think there's something special planned for Tom Hardy. Like I don't think he's done as Eddie Brock.
100%. And like I always say, they teased in Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, the post credits teased the Tom Holland, Tom Hardy Venom crossover, and No Way Home also teased it in the post credits. So if they don't ever cross over, I am going to be disappointed. You cannot hint at that in two movies and then not do it. Also, I think that they're going to do it. And the reason that I think they're going to do it, money talks, bro. And if they do a Tom Holland Spider-Man, Tom Hardy Venom movie, that movie is going to do $1 billion. And they would market the hell out of it. It would have the kind of run that Deadpool and Wolverine just had.
Even larger, way larger than that, to be honest. Man,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
What?
And by the
Spider-Man
way,
Venom?
Venom, like, I should look into this, but Venom is like literally the perfect villain for Spider-Man. They basically have the same powers. They look similar. I think Venom was created to be the perfect Spider-Man villain. And ever since he first, hit the comics with the Todd McFarlane stuff, he just blew up. Or was it Todd McFarlane or David Michelini? Regardless, I mean, this is like they made Venom in a lab to be, no pun intended. I shouldn't have said that. The best way to do a pun is to not intentionally do it and not say no pun intended or pun intended, because once you say it, it's a lose-lose situation because it's just corny. But you get the point. Venom is like basically made in a lab, in a comic book creator lab, to be the perfect villain for Spider-Man, other than the fact that, the symbiote was created in space and ends up in a lab and all that good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And bro, I also love how Marvel is expanding the symbiote to fit to now where the symbiote can be everywhere, and I love how they are diving deeper into the symbiote lore and tying in Null, and now there's a heaven for symbiote god and stuff. Like, I just love how they are trying to expand that lore, and how they're making it super is the word galactic if we're like talking about space.
Cosmic.
Cosmic, sorry. Yeah, they're making it super cosmic, and I think that, like, any way to expand the lore of the symbiotes, it expands the lore of Spider-Man. So now we have a reason why Spider-Man can go to space. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
count me in, bro. Count me in. And to be honest, bro, the symbiotes low-key give me like a Transformers vibe, like how like the Autobots come from one planet and then they end up on Earth. Like, it kind of gives me that kind of vibe a little bit. So
What's interesting is that DC has done such a good job for a long time in many different eras and iterations of Gotham spin-offs and characters. And they did Penguin, they did the Gotham show, and so many of these do so well. And Sony is they've hit with a couple, but they've had more misses with the Sony spin-off universe. And there's no reason that like they shouldn't be performing as well as Penguin. And I know one's a TV show and one's a movie, but like I don't know. I just think that this movie, there's no reason it shouldn't be a banger. There Penguin doesn't have Batman, and it's awesome. Like villain centric projects should work, and I know a lot of people are like against it, and they don't think that it should be like. But if you think about how good so many of the villains are, they should be able to stand alone without the hero and still have compelling stories and fledged out IP.
Yeah, you know I'm not the biggest fan of villain led films at all. But I do think that with Venom it's a little different because he's more of an anti-hero. I just wish that the Venom War comic book, bro, came out like freaking years in advance before the Venom 1 movie came out, because if they were able to build like Venom War and in the live action movies from the start, I think it would have made Venom a little more interesting. And to be honest, what makes the Penguin work so well is because he had the start in the Batman film, right? So like people were attracted to Colin Farrell's acting as Penguin based off of how good he was in the freaking movie, right? And just imagine how bigger Venom would have been if we first saw him with Tom Holland Spider-Man. Like just imagine how larger and how connected the plots would have been, and I hate sticking up for Sony, which I hate. Because I mean, this is low key their fault because they can't negotiate with Marvel about this. But like, I do think it hurts, Venom with the fact that like there's been like almost no connection to the MCU Spider-Man at all. And if there was a connection to Tom Holland's Spider-Man, I think this could have set the SUMC to be something very successful, or even having someone like Andrew Garfield coming back, or having a Spider-Man for the Sony universe. I think it would have helped the villain-led films a lot.
I love Sony, and I've always loved Sony. Like Sony is such a cool company. One of the lesser known things in our world about Sony. So Akio Morita, who founded Sony, he was the co-founder. He founded with one other Japanese guy. Do you know what their mission was? Their mission was not to make Sony known for making quality products. Their mission was to make Japan known for creating quality products. And in turn, it would help Sony, it would help the country. And now Japan is known for making high quality products. They've done PlayStation, they're doing movies. And I think that a lot of people get distracted by the SSMU when looking at Sony's movies. Just think about all the things they've done, and the Spider-Verse movies, which are going to be a revolution for comic book movies and animation as a whole. Like, I just think they deserve a lot more respect, and I really hope that this movie is a good movie and it's received well, because I think that if it is, I think fans will look at Sony in a different light. And they're just like, they're one of my all-time favorite companies. And I don't love companies like, I don't have that many that I really love and respect. And Sony is one of them. So I think they deserve the respect, and I hope that this movie helps deliver it for them.
Yeah, and to be honest, the movie probably won't, because I've already heard got some kind of some reviews saying that the movie's not the best, but we have to wait to see our actual eyes. But I mean, and as I think that Sony's an all right company, but I do think that the SUMC failed a while ago, and if I was Sony, I'm just putting Venom with Spider-Man ASAP. And an actor like Aaron Taylor Johnson, that's the guy I want with Tom Holland Spider-Man. I mean? It just sucks that we can't have those type of characters, in our MCU Spider-Man films. And I think that's what hurts me the most is it, bro, I feel like an emptiness when I watch some of these projects where I'm like, yo, Spider-Man, like the Venom and Carnage movie, how much better would like is the movie with Spider-Man, you know, and that's what sucks, bro. It's like you can see the emptiness, you know.
And it was Woody Harrelson, and like from what I remember, he did a solid job. He's a great actor. You know, he's like the perfect Cletus Cassidy too. But
He did his best.
yeah, you know, I also think that Craven is the perfect villain for the Spider-Man movie that everyone wants to see, where Peter Parker is in his New York City everyday element, like because Craven would be able to deliver that MCU spectacle, larger than life type of story, but you do it in New York City and you give everyone that grounded movie that everyone's craving, you know. But I think Sony is above all that. I think that Venom is also the perfect one because they don't want to give us that kind of movie. They want it to be cosmic. They want it to be larger than life, and Venom is just the perfect one, and they've teased it. So I think for the story that they want to tell, driving the multiverse forward, it just makes sense, and they hinted at it. So if we don't get this Venom movie, I'm going to riot. We always say that. We don't actually mean it. We don't riot. We don't endorse rioting. But kind of like a joke, so.
Yeah, facts, bro. Yeah. So and look, and like, and as I still stand by my point of I think villain films are stupid. Like I still think Craven is going to fail in box office, and you know Venom. I really don't have like a view of how Venom is going to be because as we see in the past 2 times, people have showed up. So you know, we'll just have to see what happens in regards to that. But you know, as I'm gonna go into this film with an open mind, but I'm not expecting like the best content ever because Sony just hasn't produced that in a long time. You know, and I just think that you know until they get a working Spider-Man, I'm not feeling it, and that's just where I'm at. Like, but what is so funny is they'll give us trash like freaking Morbius, but then we'll get the greatest animated freaking movie of all time with the Spider-Verse. It's like, what is going on? So, you know, I think that Sony has found that their groove, and I think their groove is that animation bag. I mean, the Spider-Verse is the best content we've seen ever, you know. So we'll just have to see what happens, guys. That's kind of where I'm at with this.
Every time I hear that song, what's the one with Rosalie? Am I Dreaming? ASAP Rock. Every time I hear that song, I'm like, oh, I gotta watch the Spider-Verse movie,
bro. Yeah. Yes, bro. Yeah. By the way, those Spider-Verse soundtracks are fire, bro.
Fire, and they killed it. Like especially for the first one, like when it opened and he was in his room listening to the Post Malone,
Sunflower.
Yes. And then the second one, they did it with another song. I forget which song
it was. That song with it was called like Hummingbird or something. I forget.
Yes.
That song was hard. That song was hard.
Yeah. And yeah, man. Like
Metro Boomin cooked on that, bro.
Bro, he is like the GOAT. He really is I don't think anyone in the game has ever been a better producer than Metro Boomin.
Yeah, and then that freaking Coi Leray song he did in the Spider-Verse 2
Gwen scene.
Yeah, that joint was hard.
I don't even think and that's why
she's trash. Yeah, she's trash.
She's trash, bro. And he's like, I'm gonna get the one fire song out of you. You know?
Yeah. No, he's good, bro. Yeah, but yeah. That those soundtracks were crazy. But that's why it's like Sony. It's a love-hate relationship because some stuff I hate, some stuff I love. You know, but that's just the way that's just the way it goes as a fan.
But also think about like, and I know this was before your time, but when I was like growing up in the 90s, Nintendo 64 was like the console. And then PlayStation came out. And then Microsoft was like, we're getting involved. And Sega was still going. Bro, if you were to say in the early 90s that in the future PlayStation was going to be the top console to have, no one would believe it. Guess what? I knew PlayStation was going to be the best. I liked PlayStation the most since PlayStation 1.
Yeah. I feel like everybody had a PlayStation 2. That was
that's when it really took off for sure. Thanks. For sure.
Thank you, babe. Appreciate it. But yeah, bro, I love the freaking PlayStation, bro. Okay, let's read some chats in here. Superherocuts, what are your thoughts on trailer for Creature Commandos? Don't worry, bro. We have that in our docket. We're going to get to that. I'm not gonna watch it. I view the Venom movie the same way as I view the Joker movie. See, I understand. I understand because I feel the same way about villain led films. Like
Nah, because Joker isn't comic accurate. Venom is. That's
doesn't matter. No, but he's saying the villain movie as a whole. I look, Hungry Almighty, I get it, but we still have to watch it. Or I still am because I think that there is a hope for Eddie Brock to get to the MCU after this film, in my opinion. And that's the only thing that has me holding on to. And plus, I like Null, so I think Null is super awesome. And plus, Andy Serkis is playing Null, which anything with Andy Serkis in it just sign me up. He's a great actor. I'll only watch it if my friends decide to go watch it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, well then you might have to go, bro. Gino David, I just saw Venom early. It was awesome. Okay.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it, Gino.
Hear it, man.
Welcome to the chat.
Yeah. It kind of obsessed me. I'm kidding. I hope that it does well, man. I just hope that we don't get like no more Madam Webs and all that crap, dude. You give us just good content.
Madam Web is a cool character too. Like
she's awesome, but
Madam Web is cool. Morbius cool. All these characters are cool, and that's like the shame. Like they have done some of these characters dirty, and it makes it less like. I know we're not getting any kind of Spider-Man movie with some of these villains anytime soon, but next time it comes up, like it makes it less likely for them to appear again after bombing in the box office.
Yeah. And it's low-key a big fumble too, because it's like Spider-Man is like Batman. There's so many, his lore is just crazy, and it's like it feels like sometimes you're wasting it with all the characters. Like, bro, Aaron Taylor Johnson just looks like he's made for the MCU. He's literally look like his Kraven costume. I'm like, this dude is made to be in the MCU, bro.
And by the way, I'm starting to think that actually no, because James Bond's a little different. Like, but it does seem that the comic book movies are going in the opposite direction of fan casting, especially the DCU. But they have been saying that Aaron Taylor Johnson is like the number 2 or number 1 guy in the running for the Bond movie. I'd be happy with him as Bond. I think he's a great actor. I think he's making some poor decisions with what movies to do. But I do think he's got the talent.
Yeah, the other is the guy from Bridgerton too. Apparently he's in talks for Bond, which I hope not. And for the reason why, I will tell you off air. I cannot say that on air.
Oh, well David Corn sweat, bro. So
wait, what?
Never mind. I shouldn't even said it. I was just I think he's made some questionable choices too. That's what I was.
Oh yeah, no, but this is worse. But we'll
okay.
Yeah, way worse. But we'll
okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about this show. Yeah. Here's the thing. I want to see a villain movie where the villain is actually the villain and the villain is facing the main hero. The SSU are just villain turned anti-hero movies. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And that's why they failed so much, bro. But I think the biggest failure, as you said, number one, Spider-Man isn't in it. And if Spider-Man isn't in it, it's not going to be successful. The only successful pair of movies we've gotten was Venom. Everything else is flopped.
The other thing, though, I will say, when you think about villain movies, the best Star Wars movie is all about the villain arc and the cross to the dark side. The Sith, episode 3.
It's different, though, man. But you can't really compare that because, I mean, like, that's like the most, because the writing of Anakin is just different. I mean, it's so complex compared to Venom, you know what I mean, or the Joker or Morbius, like, because I mean, this is Star Wars is about a man that was supposed to be the chosen one. He's the center of the universe, you know what I mean, versus where Venom's not the center of the Spider-Man you know, like, and that's just where I think, you know, Sony just isn't smart. It's like you're hurting your main character by not allowing a hero to be in this.
Yeah. You know what they should have done? They should have hired Jonathan Hickman from the very beginning and have him build the entire universe. And by the way, if Kevin Feige isn't using Jonathan Hickman for help in the writer's room for Doomsday and Secret Wars, we are going to riot.
100%. I mean, because look, and if you guys do not agree, a prime example in James Gunn's Peacemaker show, he had the Justice League show up. Okay, even though it wasn't everyone's face, I think it was like Momoa that did all the talking, but like
I think
he's
it was
still
Momoa and then
Gal
Wonder
Gadot or
Woman.
somebody. But like,
Yeah, I think it was them two, and
yeah,
everyone else was like headless silhouettes or
but
something.
he had them. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like he had them pop up to show the presence of them being there. You know, and there's just
Yeah.
no presence, and that's what I think is what keeps fans engulfed because at the end of the day, we watch this for the heroes. You know what I mean? So, all right. Let's I want to get into this. Okay, so Tom Holland, okay, he did a whole entire podcast and I watched the whole thing. Now some of this was about, you know, the fact that he just launched his own it's like what is like an alcoholless beer type of brand. Um
Correct.
and you know, and I actually thought it was super insightful because like Tom Holland always seemed like a, this might sound rude, and Tom Holland, I don't mean this in a rude way, but Tom Holland always seemed like very like childlike to me. You know what I mean? Like just like because I think it was just because of, you know, he plays, you know, Spider-Man or whatever, and so seeing that, you know, that he struggled with, you know, alcoholism and just
It
hearing his
ages him a bit
story,
for sure.
yeah,
I felt the same way.
it made me have a lot of respect. I'm like, dang, he been through it, you know.
I'll also say this: like I read about his sobriety story because I'm sober. You know, I've struggled with addiction for most of my adult life, and it took me a really long time to get sober. It took a lot of tries, and you know, most people I know that are sober, like most people don't get sober because things are going great in their life. Like
Yeah.
usually, you know, people are using drugs, everything gets worse in your life because of that, and things spiral out. Tom Holland's story was a little different. He was like, yeah, you know, I was like, I'm going to do sober January. And then all I could think about for January was drinking. I was like, that's not good. I'm going to do it for another month. And still, I was like, oh, I can't really think about anything else than drinking, but I'm feeling better. I'm sleeping better. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to do it for 6 months. And then he was like, I feel better than I ever have. And I realized like I have a problem with alcohol and I just stopped drinking. So, you know, I have a lot of respect for him for that because he didn't need to like for things to really bottom out in his life. And he was able to come to that decision in a much healthier way than the rest of us. I got to
Yeah,
tell you.
exactly.
So I have
Yeah.
respect for him for that. But
And, sorry.
I also will say, you know, and I almost I want to say this, but I don't want to say it. I don't criticize him for doing this. Like I don't. He probably isn't involved maybe with like a sobriety community, but one of the things like that they've always told us when getting sober is be careful with the non-alcoholic beers. The idea for them to sell it to you is for you to feel like you're getting something else and, you know, eventually start drinking again. And like the best way I could put it is you think Anheuser-Busch sells non-alcoholic beer because they want to do a good deed, you know? But I don't think Tom Holland has bad intentions by selling non-alcoholic beer. It probably helped him, and there's a personal story to it, so it's a good business. And I don't think he has a bad intention. And,
Yeah.
you know, he probably doesn't know about that, you know, path, but whatever.
Oh yeah.
My
I mean,
dad's sober too, and he
podcast
drinks
is
non-alcoholic
beautiful.
beer.
Yeah, bro. Like the podcast was beautiful. You know what I mean? And the way that they kind of branded was like he's starting this new career, and you just get to hear the business side of Tom Holland, right? But when it came to business, he got taught about Spider-Man 4. And so, Jerry, I wanted to talk to you about this because Tom Holland said that, well, first off, he talked about how now he has the power to say no, right? And he started off with, you know, just talking about how, you know, the ending of Spider-Man No Way Home was very different than what we actually saw. And he said that when he was acting in the original like ending, he literally stopped the set and told John Watts, like, yo, I'm not feeling this. Like, this isn't the right ending. And he worked with him to change the ending, right? Which is showing that he's for the street, you know, level Spider-Man. And Tom Holland,
This was No Way Home.
yes, No Way Home. He helped write the ending. And basically he was saying how because he's saying no, Marvel, Disney and Sony have been going back and forth about what they want to actually do.
That's
and
awesome.
and Tom Holland basically said without saying that there's really three things, right? It's either street level Spider-Man, the symbiote, or the freaking multiverse. And he's been saying that they've been going back and forth trying to figure out which direction they want to go. Now, I do want to read a quote, but I want to say this is a really good thing because we have to take into account the fact that Sony pulled Spider-Man from the MCU because they had so much beef going on about stuff. So I am happy that that it really seems like Tom Holland is playing the middleman, between Sony and Marvel. And this gives me a lot of RDJ vibes because RDJ was strongly involved with Iron Man and where Iron Man was going as a character. So number one, shout out to Tom Holland. And Tom Holland did say that Downey has been giving him advice while he's been going through this process as well. Because he was saying, he was very confused on how to handle, a character this big. And Downey's been like in his ear about it. Fun fact, Jerry, he said that Downey told him months before about Doom.
Really?
months before. Yeah, he knew for a minute.
Damn.
Yeah, which is funny. But so here is the quote that Tom Holland said.
Love hearing
that. Oh yeah, dude.
They're close.
Bro, he need, but like when you're big, you need somebody like that in your ear. You know what I'm saying? Because Downey has been down that road, and that's why I also think him and Downey probably connect even more because Downey went down the road and he was there. But anyways, so this is what Tom Holland said. We have a creative and a pitch and a draft, which is excellent. It needs work, but the writers are doing a great job. I read it 3 weeks ago, and it really lit a fire in me. Zen, can you say your name? Yeah. Sorry, yeah. And I sat down and read it, and we were at times bouncing around the room. Like, this is a real movie worth of fans' respect. And the one thing that Tom Holland said that sold me that Spider-Man 4 is probably going to be a street level film is he said that I don't want to do a movie just for the sake of making it because we know it's going to make bread. He said, we know Spider-Man is going to be $1 billion film, but we want to do a film that fans will love and respect. Tom Holland, I salute you, bro.
This is so awesome. And I think that there's a major incentive for Tom Holland to do the street level New York element Spider-Man movie, because when all is said and done, like, listen, these movies that serve the greater MCU story, like, it's a perfect example. And I rewatched this movie last week, and I remember when it came out, I loved it, and people were hating on it. I still love that movie. I think we criticize it too hard sometimes. Spider-Man Far From Home. But
love that
when
movie.
all is said and done, when people look back at Spider-Man Far From Home, people are like, oh, it's a forgettable Spider-Man movie. It's not in New York. He barely wears the suit. I think Tom Holland, and probably talking with RDJ, has come to the conclusion that when he's like 40, 50 years old, and he's like, winning Oscars and all that, he wants to be able to look back and have a Tobey Maguire type of Spider-Man movie to say he did that. And he's done, he had the Spider-Man growing up movie in Homecoming. He had we'll just do it for the MCU and Far From Home. He had his big multiversal event movie now, but he doesn't have the New York element Spider-Man movie. And that is the definitive timeless classic that he needs to add to his catalog, I think, to really cement himself and for people to start saying that they think Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man. Because I'm not saying I don't know if I'll ever say that, but I do think once he has that movie, a lot more people will.
Yeah. And Jerry, knowing you, if it's done the right way, you're going to say that. If it is done perfectly, given the role, because
I'm biased with Toby, bro. I grew up on that stuff.
Okay, you're biased, but I do think that like the general consensus is going to be that, because I mean, dude, we got Spider-Man in the Avengers. I never thought that was ever going to happen, like at a point, and Tom Holland has done everything, as you said, except that. And bro,
he's creating his legacy. That's the type of decisions he's making.
He seems hungry. He wants it.
Yeah.
And just like how you and I said, right, how James Gunn, you can tell he's casting people that's hungry, like people that haven't necessarily made it. With Tom Holland's case, he could retire today and financially be straight forever, but as you said, in regards to his legacy as Spider-Man, he has yet to do a film like this. And then also, Jerry, to all of the people who think that Spider-Man has to be connected to the multiverse, what about Captain America Civil War? which is one of the main films that set up Avengers in Infinity War. That is the movie that separated everyone, you know. So, and Civil War is a grounded movie. It's a street level. Like, oh, I don't want to say street. I don't want to say street, but there was no multiverse. There was no cosmic. There was no Hulk. There was no Thor.
But
it was just Earth.
Scale was big. I wouldn't call that a grounded movie, bro.
I think it's grounded because it is, or let me say, I think it is an Earth-based level film. Like I'm saying, it is not cosmic, it is not spacey. There is no Hulk, there is no Thor. All we have is Wanda and you know, Viz as the super power beings here, but they kept it pretty earthly, and that's what I think Spider-Man 4, you know, can play. It you can make Spider-Man big while keeping him in New York. Not to mention Daredevil. You got the whole Kingpin drama going on, and we're going to talk about you know, Kingpin later on in here. But you know, there's a rumor going around that Kingpin is in charge of the freaking Thunderbolts, and if that's true, that changes everything about what's going on in freaking New York. So
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, if that is true, we're going to talk about that. But if that is true in any sense and all this stuff going on, I mean, you can get Spider-Man involved with Daredevil and bro, Hulk. Come on, man. I'm telling you, bro, they have it right here, Jerry. They got it right here. They just have to put it together properly. And from what it seems like, if Tom Holland is fired up about it, I'm happy. So we shall see what happens. We got to chat. Let's see. Until Holland's body explains. Oh my God, Hungry Almighty, you and Uncle Ben, dude. Until Holland's Spidey explains what happened to Ben, then he will never be the best Spidey to me. LOL. I need closure, bro. You and this uncle. See, that's the hill that you're going to freaking die on. I respect it, but dude, come on, man. The Uncle Ben stuff, dude. You're killing me, man.
You know what I would love?
We have 46 people in here. What the frick?
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
Monday's a good day for us.
I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead.
Yo, so they're never gonna do it. But like another way to do a larger scale movie but keep it grounded is to do Ben Reilly. They'll never do it though.
In the Sony universe, do it.
Sony maybe, but MCU they'll never do it.
Sony would never give them the rights to do a Ben Reilly movie.
Yeah. Well, no, I just think that like Sony, the MCU doesn't want Peter Parker competing with Ben Reilly, the Clone Saga. I don't know. It's just a movie that's like, it's too complicated. It's too much. I don't know. They'll never do it. But
yeah, he will low-key be the cooler Spider-Man, though. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, because you know, Ben Reilly is like the edgy one who's faced trauma. Like he's the kind of guy that, you know, he didn't have a sober come to life moment, but like he does carry that kind of trauma and baggage with him.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, guys, we look. So just to sum this up, we love what Tom Holland is saying, and you know, we were really excited that the director of Shang-Chi is doing Spider-Man 4. It seems like they're cooking, so we just got to see what happens. All right, next topic here. So there was a rumor that dropped a couple of days ago, and so there's been a rumor about Doctor Strange, and the rumor really centered around this rumor that, you know, they're making a lot of changes to things because, you know, Doctor Doom is in the picture now, and so the rumor has been, you know, with Doctor Strange changing their plot because of Doom, one of the changes that they want to make is they want to make Dormammu a bigger character. And so the rumor is that, you know, Denzel Washington has been approached by Marvel Studios for not just a Dormammu role, but for a more powerful role to be like a god type of, you know, character in the MCU. But the main role that they talked about, rumored, was Dormammu. So Jerry, how do you feel about Denzel Washington possibly being in the MCU and possibly being in Doctor Strange?
I hate the idea of him doing Dormammu. Like, he is such a good actor, and this seems like, first of all, I was never that big on Dormammu, number one. Number two, this is just like Christian Bale to me all over again. This seems like
it's gore.
Yeah, they're gonna waste him. And even if he does do a good job and it's a good movie, like if you're gonna get Denzel, like bring him on. But the other catch, the other on the other side, maybe sometimes it's easier for the MCU to land an actor like this for one role because Denzel doesn't want his schedule all tied up for 5 years. That's the other thing that people never really say, but you got to think from everyone's perspective in all these things and not just, Batman Beyond Animated sounds cool. Like, make the movie, bro. You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts of that, right?
Yeah.
And you and I are on the same page. Like for me, this lines up with Kurt Russell as like Ego, right? Like he's a legend. He played a really powerful character, but he probably didn't want to stay in here for Guardians 3. He was like, let me just do my movie, make my Marvel bag, and I'm out. And
Yeah.
I think that for someone like Denzel, it probably would be the same way of like, let me just make my Marvel bag. Let me just say that I did a superhero film, and then I can glad
go back to the types of movies that I really like to make.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, if you land Denzel in the MCU, no matter what role, it's a win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but what I want him to be a cooler character? Heck yeah, I would want him to be a godlike. Like I want him to be like a godlike character. Like something cool like that. But hey, man, whatever happens, happens. But but if he's in Doctor Strange, that would be awesome.
I would love to see him as the Watcher. And I gotta say,
you just cooked right there.
Yeah, Jeffrey Wright, who, you know what, he's a good actor. And he voiced the Watcher for What If. He also played Felix Leiter in the most recent.
He's in Batman, right?
Yes, he plays Gordon. He's a great actor. So they already got a good guy for the Watcher, but Denzel would also crush it.
100%, bro. Yeah, like characters like that, you want to make them super powerful, like super godlike characters. So, hey, man, but hey, the Denzel and the Marvel films. When I also love the fact, bro, that they are changing the story because of Doom, and I love the fact that Doom is kind of changing the way everything goes. And there's no like the best two characters to put together is Doctor Strange and Doom.
Yeah. Oh, do we have? You know what? I want to add something to the docket. I am going to text it.
Yeah, shoot over to me. Do you want it as the next topic or?
Not necessarily.
Is it linked to this or not?
No.
Okay, but all right. Now let's get to wait. We have a chat here. Let's see. I would rather Denzel as Dormammu over Magneto. Like a lot of dumb people were saying, guys. Oh yeah, bro. No, yeah, not Magneto at all. Okay, I will add that. We can do that. You want to do that after we talk creature commandos? Okay. All right. Now let's get into some Avengers Doomsday stuff. Okay. So we have an update on Avengers Doomsday. So Joe Russo has revealed, and this is with Collider. Shout out to them. Joe Russo has revealed that they are currently in the midst of the writing process for Avengers Doomsday. They also confirmed again that Christopher Marcus, who wrote Avengers in Infinity War and Endgame, he will not be returning to write this. Now, Stephen McFeely, though, who was the co-writer of those films, he is currently working on the freaking script. And so, Jerry, how do you feel about just the Russos giving us constant updates about what's going on and how they're going to be filming next year, and that is coming out in 2026?
It's great for us because it gives us more content. Like it gives us more material to talk on. So I love it. And I love it. Aside from that, it's good because there are a lot of scoopers who just make things up, and hopefully they hope that it's interesting and it sticks and it gains them notoriety. As James Gunn has been giving us a lot of updates in different forms, from Instagram comments to tweets and all the rest, it helps to clear the air on some of the silly rumors. And I think that the Russo brothers are smart enough to recognize the world that we currently live in with social media. And they probably are like, there's going to be a lot of stupid rumors that are going to make us look bad. And because of that, we're going to give periodic updates.
100%. So yeah, I am really happy about them just constantly reiterating, hey, these are the people that are writing. Downey's filming for 3 months straight. Like, I'm happy that they're giving us a lot of news. And yeah.
And Downey filming for 3 months straight is great because I forget the exact minute, but like I'm pretty sure in both Infinity War and Endgame, Thanos's screen time was like 30 plus minutes. If all the other characters are going to be there for like 3 to 4 weeks filming, and Downey's going to be there for 3 months, that tells us one obvious thing is that he's going to have the highest screen time, which is a good thing.
I 100% agree, bro. Jerry, I don't think people understand what's coming. I really don't. And I think that a lot of fans who have biasly, crapped on this, they're going to be shocked because they're going to be very shocked about the work that Robert Downey Jr. is putting in as we speak. I think that this is, and look, man, Oppenheimer is a really good movie. I think this dude landing Doom could be one of his great portrayals of all time, or one of his greatest
100%
of all time. Because you guys got to think about this. He is the sole reason why Iron Man is like a top 3 biggest hero of all time in the movie space. If he does that with Dr. Doom, he's the GOAT. And he arguably already is the GOAT. Arguably.
The interesting thing about Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man is that it came out like a couple of years after this comic book called Extremis, and Extremis was a new powerful version of the Mark technology and the suit and all that. And it's also the basis for Iron Man 3, like the story for Iron Man 3. But it's actually considered one of the best Iron Man comics. And it came out a couple years before Iron Man. And with that comic and that movie, you have to understand that a lot of people in the world of comics looked at Iron Man as like a boring character. They thought business and a suit, and they were like, that's not fun. They didn't look at it as like this sexy entrepreneurship story. And Extremis and Iron Man 1 changed the game. And now Iron Man comics, took that into consideration. And Iron Man was reinvented. And Iron Man became a super cool character, both in the movies and the comics. Actually, Iron Man is one of my favorite comics to read. Listen. And so I totally recognize where it changed because I've read some of the older ones and I've read pretty much all the newer ones. But, it's incredible. And the other thing about Doom, like, if you've read the comics, you know this. If you haven't read the comics, and that's one of the reasons you watch the show is because we love to do the homework for you, is that, Doom is a very layered character. Like, when you think of Thanos, the thing about Thanos is that it's pretty simple. It's like, there's finite resources. We got to kill half the population, and that's a good thing. Like, it's pretty simple. Doom, not so much. Doom is very layered. There's a lot of depth to his character, and he's very complex. And that's why Secret Wars, the 2015 one in the comics, anyone who will tell you anything about it, the first thing they'll tell you is that it's a deep character analysis of Dr. Doom and Reed Richards. And I think that, listen, I love Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Iron Man. Obviously, you could tell. But I think just playing like a playboy entrepreneur, it's not as deep as playing someone as Dr. Doom. And you're going to see a much more artistic Leo DiCaprio type of side to Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. Mark our words, it's going to be epic.
Leo would never do this. Do you think he would have been a good Doom?
100%. Bro, Leo DiCaprio is the greatest actor of our time. Period. End of story. It's funny. I actually almost sent it to you. I meant to send it to you, but I saw some website like had a a bracket, and they were like, "Who is the best actor?" And you know who won? Guess.
It's not.
It wasn't Leo. Leo was in it.
Denzel?
Nope. Who do I always say is the other best actor? You don't want to admit it because you don't want to say.
Oh, Bale?
Yeah, Christian Bale won it.
Yeah.
And listen, Christian Bale is my personal favorite. Leo's up there, but Leo is the best. But Leo, you know, the awards and like, you know, Martin Scorsese, a lot of those people look down on superhero movies. And Leo is very close to Martin Scorsese. They work together all the time. And we know what Martin Scorsese thinks of superhero movies, but it was Leo DiCaprio who told Timothy Chalamet to never do a superhero movie. So, hate to burst your bubble for all the Nightwing fan castings.
Right? Yeah, it ain't happening.
That's
it ain't happening.
Because Timothy Chalamet, he is going to take that path because he wants to do those roles that are like Dune, that are very artistic, Paul Atreides type style. And I'm not saying comic movies aren't artistic. Obviously, I'm not going to dunk on my favorite genre, but you have to understand, like I always say, you have to understand all perspectives. And you have to understand that there is that side of Hollywood that does look down on this genre. They always have, and they always will. Maybe RDJ as Dr. Doom will make them think differently about it. We can hope.
Yeah, bro. As I said, bro, I just really think that this is going to, like you and I, you know, I feel like we are pretty open-minded fans, you know what I mean? Like even some stuff that we don't like, we'll give the benefit of like the doubt, unless it was like, you know, like freaking Acolyte or something like that.
Yeah, there's some things I don't give the benefit.
Yeah.
Okay?
But when it came to RDJ, like, I think we were really open-minded, and now like the closer that we're getting to it, like I just really think we're going to be shocked because Dr. Doom ain't about the games, bro. He ain't about the jokes and the messing around. Like he's about business, bro. And
bro, I was hyped from the second you told me. Do you remember? You told me, and I was like, "Hold on, I got to pull over." I did.
Yeah, you called me. I remember you pulled over and called me.
Yeah. I did not believe you.
When he put off the mask, yo, that will forever go down in history as one of the most wildest things that ever happened.
Same task.
Oh, I love RDJ.
I don't buy a lot of like nerdy memorabilia.
Mm-hmm.
I have a few action figures. I don't really buy them. They kind of just sit around. But Cultured Nerd posted a picture today on his story of Shredder, who's, if you don't know him, he's like the big villain in Ninja Turtles. But it was like Shredder's helmet and mask. Ooh. And I forget what he wrote, but like that is something that I would waste my money on. Like that is so sick.
By the way, when the RDJ Dr. Doom hot toy comes out, best believe I'm buying that.
Yeah, I might have to get that too.
Oh yeah, that's just one that you gotta, you know.
You know what I need? I need a Sean Connery hot toy.
Mm-hmm.
Or Sideshow. I think Sideshow's the one that does it, but they're so sick, man. Oh.
100%. Dude, I was talking to this guy in my church, and he was saying that he wishes that he got to see Major's Kang and RDJ's Doom have a conversation on freaking screen. He was like, he said he was basically saying to me like that was his dream, you know. And I'm like, dude, I said that's all of our dreams, bro. That was all of our dreams.
By the way, like spectacle wise, I think that probably would be the best villain to go toe to toe. Sorry, the best hero to go toe to toe with Kang.
Who?
I just think it would look the best.
Who, Doom?
Yeah, Doom and I think.
Oh, Iron Man and King? Oh, yeah. RDJ's Iron Man? Oh, heck yeah.
That would look like I don't know if there's a better pair up on screen visuals and aesthetic wise.
Oh, yeah. Also, and I know you hate the freaking stash, but I was reading some of the comments because they were putting out set. It was like a picture of like the Fantastic Four, not even in costume, but it looked like Reed just got done teaching or something. He had on like a freaking teacher's like outfit. But a lot of fans are like very positive, bro. Which I've been really reading comments of how fans are reacting to the stuff that's coming out next year. The project that really people are scared about is Brave New World. Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. A lot of fans are really expecting it to be good, and I just want to say for the landscape of the MCU, that is a good thing. because a
You
lot of
know,
these films haven't been getting, the best judgment pre, premiere.
for one, I just don't think when it comes to the mustache, there's no good reason to not shave it. And there isn't.
Sorry, it's just funny. It's just funny. Go ahead.
Like, bro, I could shave my mustache and come back on this in 2 seconds. Okay. And as far as Thunderbolts, I think Thunderbolts is going to be great. I think Brave New World is going to be great. I think some fans were rubbed the wrong way by the monologue at the end of
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. I think some fans unfairly were always going to be biased towards Sam as Captain America, and that's horrible and
Yeah,
unacceptable. But I think that most people will walk into that movie and walk out as fans of Sam Wilson as Captain America. Anthony Mackie, by the way, is he's one of the best actors in the game right now.
He's phenomenal.
There's a movie, I forget what it's called, but it's an Apple movie. He played it. I watched it with my parents, and he played he played a banker, and it was back in the day, and he was, opened his own bank, and it was in a very racist America, and about how everyone was unfair to him, and he still succeeded. And it was the performance this guy put on was incredible. And I think that I always saw that he was a great actor, but I think that he was always with, people it's kind of hard to shine someone sometimes when you're not the star in the title. Yeah. And I think that, I always see things like that. I saw that Colin Farrell was amazing in the Batman and whatever. But I do think that when people see Brave New World and this guy is going to put on a hell of a performance, I do think that it's going to be a cultural moment. I do think that Marvel fans are going to rally around this movie. Not casuals are going to love this movie. And I do think we're going to have a long overdue MCU cultural moment, because it's been a long time since, actually, I shouldn't say it. The last MCU movie was a cultural moment, but we haven't had one since that. The last MCU cultural moment, I would say, was No Way Home. And that was a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, Wakanda Forever and No Way Home, those films brought the droves, right? But it's been a lot of TV shows too, and I think that's what's diluted the MCU for the most part. So I really am happy that we're getting 3 movies next year, not 3 shows, 3 movies,
and one of them is Fantastic Four.
Yes, and then on top of that, dude, we're getting a Daredevil show.
Wait, Daredevil's next year?
Daredevil's next year, bro.
It's probably Christmas time.
No, I'm pretty sure it's next spring. Let me check. Hold on.
No way.
Hold on. Daredevil MCU release date. It comes out March 4th, 2025.
That's crazy, bro.
And they just revealed that 9 hours ago.
That's crazy. That's literally less than 5 months away.
Dog.
Yo.
That's insane, bro.
That's gonna be here tomorrow.
Bro, this might be Marvel. Next year is probably Marvel's biggest year in a long time.
Yeah.
Box office wise and popular wise. Oh man, I think superhero films and also with Superman coming out too, it's going to be a pretty stacked year.
Yeah. The people who were superhero fatigue, bro.
Yeah.
The problem with social media is that you have to realize that 99% of people are stupid. Mm-hmm. So when you see some random person's tweet, before you read it, you have to understand that 99% of the time you're reading the words of a stupid person.
Exactly. Because, bro, it's not superhero fatigue. The movie just sucked. I mean, that's all it was. Let's keep it real here. Come on, guys. All right, let's review some chats here. Superherocuts, have you seen on Twitter or Threads That DC fan asked James Gunn, "Are we going to get Ice and Fire animated series?" And James Gunn hearted it. I did not, but I would not be shocked if he did that because James Gunn has a really good. He loves he loves characters. Excuse me, James Gunn loves characters that mainstream fans don't know. That's just his bag. Literally, everyone I know keeps thinking that RDJ is playing Stark as Doom and not Victor Von Doom. That's why I tell you, bro. People are going to be very shocked. Like people don't know. They
Bro,
don't know.
the crazy thing, by the way, the same guy who said that Carnage is carrying the comic book industry, he did say something at one point that I forget what it was, but he basically said that infamous Iron Man is Tony Stark, and he thinks that RDJ is going to be Tony Stark as infamous Iron Man. For those of you that don't know, infamous Iron Man is kind of like Doctor Doom's redemption arc. It's a comic book series that Iron Man died and Doctor Doom took up the mantle as Iron Man. And, he went, people didn't believe that he was actually trying to be a hero. It's a really cool book, but it's Doctor Doom. It's not Tony Stark. So, be careful who you read on the internet because next thing you know, you could think RDJ is coming back as Tony Stark.
Dude, that's gonna be. People are so stupid, bro. Oh my god, that's so dumb. So dumb. So dumb. So dumb. All right, Hunter Iggy, but Gunn likes or hearts a lot of things. Oh, that is true. I don't know, man. Pedro and Female Surfer are two red flags. I think Pedro is going to change your mind, and on the female Surfer, look, I understand why people are pissed. So
I
that's all I
agree
have to
with
say about
you,
that.
Hungry.
Yeah.
I agree with that whole comment.
Yeah, bro. I can't argue that, but hey, man, we just gonna see what happens when the trailer drops. That's kind of where I'm at. But Hungry Almighty, don't you find it funny that the trades posted that she was casted, but Feige didn't talk about that at Comic-Con, nor has any of the leaks been talked about the female Silver Surfer. It's just super weird that we haven't heard or seen anything. That's what makes castings like that weird because usually, bro, when they make these bold castings, they publicize it. But Feige didn't say a word about it, Jerry. A word.
Especially because, Feige is the kind of guy that if he casted someone in a role and they were getting heat for it on the internet, he'd at least want to come out and say, Julia Garner is a great actress and we're really excited to have her, something like that.
Bro,
That would be like his
yeah.
subtle way of addressing it.
Yeah, but it's like the backlash came, which was really hard, right? And then he has said nothing. Julia Garner's name hasn't been uttered by Kevin Feige, Jerry, in any interview. He didn't say it on the Comic-Con panel. Pedro hasn't talked about it. No one has talked about it.
Right.
Which just did Feige yeet the female Silver Surfer? I mean, it just makes you think, man. And if Feige did yeet her, man, shout out to Feige, bro. That's a bold move. Ain't gonna hold you.
Right.
Or maybe he rewrote the role to be another character. Who knows? All right. Now, Jerry, I wanted you to take this one, the Spider-Verse versus the Venom verse. So all I gotta say is that this is going to be a crossover event for both the Spider-Man and the Venom characters. Jerry, I just wanted to know how you felt about this, about this project being announced because you sent me this, and I know you're really hyped about this.
Yeah. So the Spider-Verse in the comics was a little different than in the movies. Like it was, what was it? I think it was Morbius's family. Who was it? I forget exactly, but it was like a vampire family, and
Really?
yeah, and they were going through the Spider. I thought the Spider-Verse comic was overrated. Most people, I think a lot of people really liked it, but a lot of people didn't.
Yeah.
Dan Slott wrote it, and it came out in 10 years ago, and basically it featured nearly every variant of Spider-Man, Spider this, Spider that, and they were all under attack by it was Moreland actually, and the Inheritors, and basically after it, Spider-Gwen became prominent, and she was in a couple different books, and there have been a couple different spin-offs of the Spider-Verse, like End of the Spider-Verse, obviously the movies, but the Venomverse was created not long after that. I think it was like a couple years later, and that was a story that was really about Cullen Bunn and Iban Coelho, and it was Venom and then the alternate Venom characters. So I don't know what this is going to necessarily be about. Like, I probably should have read more about it, but what Marvel does a lot of the time, they reuse titles, and a lot of the time that title like has nothing to do with the original book that shared that same title. You kind of, that same concept, you could draw a parallel with Secret Invasion, which is interesting because when they were making that, Kevin Feige told the creators of the show, or the people who were making the show, not to read the comics. He was like, this project that you're making has nothing to do with the comic book, so don't even read it. So I think this is going to be crazy, and we're coming out of the Venom war, so they're obviously making a lot more Venom centric events, and that's what makes it interesting to me. That, like, I'm starting to know it wasn't always this way, but when you see like an initiative clearly being had in the comics, it usually, like, they're taking that and they're bouncing it back onto the movies. Like, they're using a lot more, like, you could tell a lot of things they're going to do in the movies based on the comics as of the past couple of years. So I do think we're going to get Venom in the MCU. There's another thing, and the Venomverse versus Spider-Verse. I'm trying to find out real quick on like what it's supposed to be about. I wish I had that. I thought I did. Venomverse versus Spider-Verse.
Yeah, there's not really much about it, bro, to be honest.
There really isn't. I think they just announced the title.
Yeah. So we're just going to speculate. So Jerry, I do have a couple of speculation questions to ask you, because when you sent me this, I automatically was like, this needs to be on the doc, because I have a lot of questions about just what ifs. So, like, you would expect Miles to play a big like part in this, right?
I would expect it because if they're doing the Spider-Verse, like, there's going to be a bunch of characters that aren't as like big as Miles. I can't imagine Miles isn't in it.
Yeah, because, bro, like, I think that because just as you said, right, about how comic book creators, they take titles and then it's a whole different story. I think that they're really going to take maybe some of the stuff that was established in the Spider-Verse films, and I wouldn't be shocked if they build off of that idea, man. And I love the idea of involving a Miles and having the Spider-Verse go against the freaking symbiotes. But the other thing is, you said that, I mean, you also said that it makes it possible for this to be reflected in the live action, right? Mm-hmm. So, and you and I have always talked about how we really believe that Miles is going to come into the live action soon. Amy Pascal said it. Tom Holland just said in an interview last week that he wants to be the guy to bring Miles into the live action, and he said that he wants to be there for the Miles actor, like Robert was there, like, for him, and he was saying he wants to play that mentor role. How, like, would you want Miles to enter into our MCU, or do you want him to be in the Sony Marvel thing that they got going on? Like if you were in charge of that, which way do you think is best? Like, do you think he should be with Tom Holland?
I think he should enter the MCU in Secret Wars. I think he should come through one of Doctor Strange's portals.
Yeah.
And, listen, that's how it happened in the comics.
Yeah.
Miles Morales started out in the Ultimate Universe, and he came into the main 616 universe in Secret Wars. I think that's the money shot. Listen, everybody loves Miles Morales. He is, like, you want to talk about a moneymaker. That kid is like something else. So I think you do that in Secret Wars, like you might breach $2 billion in that movie.
Yeah,
Like, serious,
yeah. Off of that alone.
yeah. So, and the thing about it is like you already have a successful movie version of this character. Take it. Like, don't reinvent the wheel, So that's what I would do. 100%. No questions asked. No one is going to talk me out of that. I think that is the best idea for Miles Morales. And I think there's like, you could not tell me anything to convince me otherwise.
100%. Also, Miles has such cool powers, bro. Can go invisible, has the electricity stuff, bro. Miles is such like his powers are so fire, bro. He's such a dope character.
The end of the Miles Morales PS5 game, bro, when he bursts out into that electric, that thing was so raw. Bro. I almost want to replay that game just for that scene.
Bro, that game, bro. Yeah. Miles Morales is such a fun character to use too, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he's just
and his suit is so sick. The black suit, like, come on.
The black and the red is just perfect.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Oh, to see him and Peter swinging around, man.
Yeah.
Imagine him and Peter swinging around, then you hop on the ledge, and then just Andrew and Toby there. That would be insanity.
Oh, also, by the way, like,
funny.
No Way Home had some really good visuals. There's this one picture. I just got the new iPad in the mail today, and one of the first
how you like it?
Love it. It's great, bro. My dad has an iPad Pro. I've had the iPad Pro, but like an older one for a while. And I've always been more of a laptop guy, but I was like, you know what? I kind of am digging the new iPad. So I got it. I'll just show you the.
Yeah. Have you read your comics on there already?
I read an Arrow comic on it. Yeah, it's great. Bro, the resolution I think is the best on but this is this visual is just so sick.
That shot is crazy in the movie.
Yeah. But it's an OLED screen, so it's
I'm gonna copy. Let me add that to my cart.
Yeah, bro. This shit is amazing, bro. And AT&T's like cell service on it was like $15. And if I read it correctly online when I was comparing it, Verizon's was like 90. So
it's not bad.
Yeah, no, 15. I mean, the iPad's not cheap, but the service, $15 a month, that's not bad at all.
Bro.
Of course, you don't have to get service on it, but I was like, $15, I'll do it. Anyway, it's also OLED. So OLED is a technology. So every pixel on an OLED is individually lit, which is why the pixels look so different on OLED. But yeah, anyway, I just love that Spider-Man picture. That picture alone, like when I see it, I want to watch No Way Home.
Yeah, dude.
It's so cool. And that's the thing. I think that Spider-Man also has an advantage compared to a lot of heroes, especially in like today's world. Kids love color. That's why all these social media apps are so colorful. Candy's so colorful. And Spider-Man has like the best colors in, both Miles Morales, Peter Parker, and I think it helps his popularity. Batman obviously is super cool. He doesn't need color, but sometimes Spider-Man pictures go harder just because of the color. And, and now they have this comic. Or what's next on the docket?
Kingpin.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I'll say it real quick then.
Go ahead.
So, Zeb Wells' Spider-Man run is just about over, and a lot of people really hated it. I didn't hate it as much as everyone else. I thought it was pretty cool. For those of you that did hate it, that sucks because we're over 59 issues and it's still not over. But
you know what? I'm just toss it up here now.
Okay. So 8 Deaths of Spider-Man is the title of the new Spider-Man story. That's the title of the story, but it's part of Amazing Spider-Man, which is the main Spider-Man line of comics. And it actually sounds pretty cool. Basically, so there was another story where Dr. Doom became the Sorcerer Supreme. So right now, in Marvel Comics, Doctor Doom is the Sorcerer Supreme. That was how Blood Hunt ended, which was another really cool crossover event where Blade went out of his mind. And instead of facing the world-ending threats himself, Doom delegates the responsibility to Spider-Man. So Spider-Man is supposedly equipped with a new magic-powered suit that he gets from Doctor Doom, and he's given 8 extra lives to save the world from an evil god and his scions. The big challenge is going to be that Doom warns that even with the extra lives, Spider-Man is going to struggle to survive the dangers ahead, and it's a high-stakes, magical twist on the classic Spider-Man story, filled with different risks and challenges. It's getting a lot of hype right now. A lot of people are really excited for it, and I think a lot of people are just excited for this Zeb Wells thing to be over. But I love that they're starting the new Spider-Man run with a large-scale, like, epic story. I think that's kind of what they need right now. Pretty much all of Zeb Wells' run was, very New York element based, and I love that and all, but it's cool to get this kind of like magic, grander scale story. So I'm pretty excited about it. If you read comics, I hope you are too. And if you do read comics or you don't and you want to start, it's probably a cool place to start.
Just as you've said 1,000 times, this is the best time to be a fan of freaking comic books. They're putting out banger after banger at the moment, and we just have to just take it all in, bro. And
seriously, it really is,
especially with DC and Marvel, yeah.
With the Ultimate Universe and Absolute, like it really is like, and every a couple years ago, every week it was like 2, 3, maybe 4 new comics a week that I'd be into. Now it's like 10 plus, like everything. It's just crazy, bro. It really is. It's a lot to keep up with. There's just the barrier to create a comic book, like everyone watches TV shows here and movies. But think about if it was as easy as writing a 24-page comic book and putting that out once a month, how many more stories you'd get. So comic universe is really never ending. Like your TV shows, your movies, there's much bigger limitations on those than there are comic books. So
100%.
Yeah.
All right. Now, let's get into this theory that's kind of going around. A lot of people have been questioning the Thunderbolts because of the fact that, Thunderbolt Ross becomes the Red Hawk, and I think he's going to stay like that for a while. And a lot of other people agree as well, which a lot of people have etched out Thunderbolt Ross to be connected to the Thunderbolts. Maybe he was connected earlier, but with the Red Hawk coming, he's probably going to be busy doing his own thing. So a lot of people have talked about the fact that, and I think this sparked probably because the Daredevil trailer redropped and the date was announced and all that stuff. But a lot of people have been saying, since Kingpin is making this push to be in government, is he the one that is funding? And is he also the leader of the Thunderbolts? Now, Jerry, how would you like that idea of Kingpin? Because, in the comic books, there is a time where he is kind of in charge. So how would you feel about that?
Oh, love it. I like the idea of a corrupted entrepreneur like Wilson Fisk and crime kingpin being in the Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts are a group of characters that have checkered pasts and are not necessarily heroes, not necessarily villains. They're just whoever's paying me to do the job. I'm going to do it. If it's good and it's a heroic thing, great. If it's a villain thing, I don't really care as long as I'm getting paid. Those are the types of guys you see with the Thunderbolts. So adding someone who is corrupted like Wilson Fisk is a good thing. Obviously, if you've been watching the show, Stevie and I both really, really want to see, he already knows what I'm going to say, want to see Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn has a comic that he's really the leader in, called the Dark Avengers, and it starts with Dark Reign, and it's a really cool comic book. And in that comic book, it also crosses over with another comic book that I really love, and he basically he does a hostile takeover of Stark Industries. And then he takes one of the Iron Man suits and he decks it out with the American flag, and he calls himself Iron Patriot. And it's just like so Norman Osborn.
Fire, bro.
Such a cool, yeah, it's so cool. But so yeah, anyway, we hope to see Norman. But I'll settle for Wilson Fisk. That sounds dope too. But why not both?
Yep. 100%. So, off topic, because I literally just signed up for this. How far are you from Lincoln Square?
Lincoln Square is like uptown New York City, so probably like 40 minutes.
Okay, I just signed up my name for 2 seats to see Gladiator early, so we might be catching that early.
Oh hell yeah, bro! That'd be sick.
I literally just signed up, and it'll be in Lincoln Square, New York City.
Oh,
at
bro,
IMAX.
that's awesome. If you want to stay with me, you're more than welcome.
Of course. All right, bet. Sorry, just off topic. I literally just signed up. I'm like, it. I just got the email. But yeah. By the way,
What's the date?
Hmm?
What's the date?
There's actually a few days. So one would be. Hold up, pull this up. It will be on a Thursday night. So the next one that I signed up for is the 7th of November.
Okay, that should be good. I have like an obligation that's going to take me all weekend this weekend,
sure.
and I should get it done with, but I don't want to say what it is because it's.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure, yeah. It will be It will be November 7th, and the movie comes out the 21st, so we will be like 2 weeks ahead. That'll be crazy. All right. Anyways, but yeah, Gladiator 2 has got me hyped. By the way, guys, I'm really excited for that film, and the reviews have been amazing, which makes me excited. Okay, off topic. Oh yeah, but by the way, I am all in favor of Kingpin leading the freaking Thunderbolts, bro. Like, let's make it freaking happen. What I mean, it just expands Kingpin into the MCU world, and it makes him deal with more characters than just Matt, and I love him in Daredevil's beat, but Kingpin has to surpass that and go to other characters like Spider-Man, et cetera, et cetera. So count me in.
Okay. Agreed. That's a great point because Kingpin isn't just a Daredevil villain. He's actually like an integral character to the Marvel universe. There's a lot more characters than Daredevil in New York City, and Kingpin is a major player in New York City.
1000%. Like, I love Kingpin. Okay. Now, there was a Creatures Commando trailer that dropped. Shout out to James Gunn. He was at New York Comic-Con. And I just want to read off the cast to you guys. So, Viola Davis is back as Amanda Waller. Frank Grillo is playing Rick Flag Sr. Anya Chalotra is Cersei. Indira Varma, she is the bride of Frankenstein. We also have Zoe Chow as Nina Mazursky. We also have David Harbour as Eric Frankenstein, and we have Alan Tudyk as Dr. Phosphorus, and we have Maria Bakalova as Princess Alana Rostovich, and we have Sean Gunn as G.I. Robot, and we have Stephen Agee as John Aganamos. So this freaking project looks so cool. I love the animation style of it. I'm a big fan of when animation is done right. I think Invincible has set the precedent for what the future of the animation style is going to be for superhero films, which is very violent. Okay. And this just models that violent fighting style. It's just so violent. And I love every bit of it. Now, I don't want to go as far to say that like the Creature Commandos reminds me of The Boys, because I don't want to say that, but I just love kind of like the recklessness that they're bringing to the DCU, because when we see Superman is going to be like the dolled up, the hero, the stand for righteousness, type of character. And the fact that we're going to go from that to like this wild group of just imbeciles, like it's going to be super fun to see.
What I really love, first of all, I love that James Gunn said that not everything is going to have the same aesthetic. Yeah. Even though that's something I loved about Marvel. Like, I just think Marvel's stuff from Iron Man and everything since, like, it just looks gorgeous on screen. And they really figured out the color grading and all that early, and they kept it consistent, and that's great. But James Gunn is going to do things differently, and he's going to do things that haven't been done before, and he's going to be an innovative, pioneering, IP. So this show's obviously animated, and we don't really know what all the different aesthetics are going to look like, and we're not really going to get the feel of that till a couple of projects in. But I love the vibes from this trailer. Like, I am really hyped for this show. I'm so happy that it's coming out like in December. And I love Frank Grillo. I think he's a really underrated actor, and I think he deserves a lot more praise. So and it seems like Rick Flag is going to be the main character here, like the number one guy. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. I like these teams that are gritty and war torn, darker military. That's like my kind of thing.
Oh yeah, bro. This is gonna be a very fun show, bro.
Yeah,
It is. And then also want to talk about something that James Gunn also said here. So he also talked about the DCU canon as well. And the one thing that he said that the DCU canon will officially begin with Superman in 2025. He also said that Safran and Gunn's DC universe will reference the events of the DCEU. And my guess he means the Peacemaker stuff. That's what I guess he's probably saying. Because he said that there are references to things that happened in the past, and those references then become canon because they talk about them. So my guess is that he's probably taking some things that he thinks can help push the story forward, but it's probably just a piece,
Yeah, I did see people saying today, oh, maybe Zack Snyder, the Snyderverse isn't over. Like, I didn't even bother to look at what made them think that. It's just like every other day, bro. It's the same. I'm like, I thought that these people don't pop up on my X feed anymore. What happened?
I wish that the Snyderverse fans turned into George Lucas Star Wars fans and did this to Lucasfilm.
Yo,
that's what I wish. That's what I wish. Because Lucasfilm needs that type of nagging, not James Gunn.
Right. That's why I always say, like, and I always get a lot of likes when I say this, but I'm always like, James Gunn breathes, and then Zack Snyder, and then I say Snyder Cult said, see, they should have kept Zack Snyder.
Oh no. Snyder Cult is like the funny. Whenever you say Snyder Cult, it just makes me laugh because it's like a little cult. It is. It really is. It's funny.
And one of them will always be like, the real cult is the James Gunn. Like, bro, I literally never
have a cult.
Bro, nobody capes for James Gunn like that. Nobody. Like, yeah, I like him and I'm excited about his DCU, but I promise you, I would be hyped about if it wasn't him and it was someone else. Like, if it was Jeff Johns, I would be just as hyped. Okay.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so let's read what he said about Superman. So James Gunn confirmed that it won't be long before the first Superman movie trailer, but it also won't be too soon. The first film of the new DCU is set to fly into theaters July 11th, 2025, and stars David Cornsweet, Rachel Brosnan, Nicholas Hoult, and an ensemble cast that includes Rick Flag Sr., Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, Metamorpho, Guy Gardner, and and we're also getting the Authority in here as well. And this is what he said. He said Crypto. He talked about Crypto, the freaking super dog. He said Crypto. That's been something that's just been amazing. We've been working with him in the edit. He is the incredible part of the story to me personally. And then he talked about Cornsweet. He said Cornsweet is going to effing blow people away. He is the movie star that everyone just dreams he could possibly be. I don't think anyone really understands the depth of this guy's talent, dramatically and comedically. He is the best. He's the best physical action star I've probably ever worked with. I feel good about it, and I'm really hard on stuff, so it's been fantastic. For James Gunn to say that this is one of the greatest actors that he's worked with. When you look at the track record of the people that he's, not to mention James Gunn worked on Avengers too, by the way, guys. I mean, for him to say that is a really big deal. Like, it's a really big deal to say something like, to say that means that Corn Sweat is the real
deal.
Yeah.
You know, and by the way, we're getting this trailer. I'm calling it right now. We're getting it in December. And I think early December too. Like, I'd say the week before Christmas. You know, yeah, listen, this movie is going to be something else. And like, I don't think any of us really know what we're in for because, like I said before, I think James Gunn is going to do things so differently. You know, like everyone thinks that James Gunn's just going to do the DC version of the MCU. And that is such a simple-minded take because James Gunn is brilliant. Like, he's very creative and he's very good at what he does. And he knows that if he doesn't change the script, people are going to be like, oh, seen this, you know, it was good, but it's nothing special. You know, if he just does the DC version of the MCU, it's not going to be special. And that's why he's going to need to innovate and pioneer here. And I think that's what he's going to do. And because I think that's what he's going to do, I don't think any of us really know what we're actually in for.
1,000%. We're not going to know until we see it on screen. And James Gunn has done a great job of hiding like actual footage, which I'm really happy about, because we, like, you know, in the space that we're in, we see a lot of stuff get leaked, and it sucks when you. I mean, like, obviously we're happy to cover it, but it does suck when you see like actual like footage getting leaked. So
yeah.
All right. So the last topic to close the night, Jerry wanted to talk to you guys about this Batman Hush news. So
yeah, so basically, if you don't know, Hush is like an iconic DC Batman story and villain. Basically, there's this. So Jeff Loeb wrote this comic with Jim Lee that did the art, and it was called Hush, but nobody really knew who Hush was. And it was like this mystery, and it was really cool. And no one really knew until the end that Hush was revealed to be a childhood friend of Bruce Wayne's. And I think that my prediction is that they're doing this because they're also going to have Hush be the villain in the Batman Part 2. I always thought it was going to be Court of Owls. I still would prefer Court of Owls. Hush was my second choice. Court of Owls, for those of you that don't know, is a secret society within Gotham that has been, you know, controlling everything forever. And in the comics, when Batman first finds out about the Court of Owls, he didn't believe it. He's like, there's no way these people could exist, because if they did, I would have already known about them. So, and then he does a double take and he's like, holy crap, they are real. But I do think Hush is going to be the villain. Like I was kind of touching on before, they are starting to, you know, the correspondence between what they're doing in the comics and the movies has been starting to increase for some time now. And I just think it would be so random after all this time to do Hush 2 if they weren't going to use him for the movie. And by the way, they already kind of hinted at it, because in the Riddler videos, when like there was those two, when Batman and Gordon, you know, after they spoke to Oz about Rada Lada, and there were the two different videos that Riddler did on Wayne, on the Wayne family. But on one of them, they wrote Hush in one of them. I forget exactly what the first name was, but it was like they did say Hush in the first one at some point in the Riddler videos. So listen, super excited for the comic, and that's great and all, but I do think that they're doing this because they are going to use Hush in the Batman Part 2. And it adds up because it's the whole mystery thing, the, Batman epic crime saga. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm crazy, if you would prefer a different villain,
I'm
or if
crazy.
up. Obviously, I don't think I'm crazy. I mean, I am crazy, but not because of this. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you would prefer Court of Owls. Who do you guys want to see as the villain? And would you be happy with Hush? Because I know damn sure I would be.
Do you think that the majority of fans are going to be super hyped, like if Hush is announced?
I think it's going to be interesting because I think most fans don't know who Hush is. I think, obviously most movie fans don't necessarily read comics, and Hush isn't like a villain that was in the Batman animated series, because obviously he
He
was
does have but there is a Hush
because he came
movie though.
after that. He
Yeah,
didn't
but because the
exist.
Hush movie is hard, bro. That
Oh, the
joint,
Hush movie is hard. That
that
is
joint
I
is
forgot about it.
fire, bro. Ooh.
You know what? You should, if you don't read comics and you don't know who Hush is, watch the Batman animated movie Hush. It's amazing. But I think that a lot of people are probably going to be, some people might be let down because they got sold on the Mr. Freeze BS. Mr. Freeze sucks. He's the worst villain ever. He's boring. He's lame. And everyone who doesn't read comics wants Mr. Freeze to be the villain.
One trick pony, right?
What?
I said, as in your words, one trick pony.
Yeah, one trick pony,
Yeah.
Nora, So yeah, but like I do think once fans get familiar with the concept of Hush and like who he is, they'll all be excited for it because how could you not? It's one of the most epic Batman comics. Like when people say their favorite Batman comics of all time, there's never a conversation that conversation never missing Hush being mentioned. Hush is always mentioned in that conversation. It's tough to say what my number one favorite Batman comic of all time would be, but Hush is definitely in the top 5.
100%. Yeah, this is awesome just to bring back Hush to comics in general because I know that when Hush was in comics, a lot of, like this is when a lot of people were reading like Batman comics. So this is just really exciting. And Batman comics always hit, bro. So
my local shop told me that when Hush was coming out, people used to go to the store on release day and all read Batman Hush and then talk about it after in the store. And they would line up for release day for that book.
that's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire.
And it was that good. Like,
yeah, bro. Comics is back, bro. Comics is back, bro. It really is, bro.
Yeah, it really is.
All right. We're going to end here, guys. There is a possibility that you might get a video from us Thursday night. It just all depends on what time we get home from seeing Venom. I know we're famous for putting out like reviews the day after, so you probably will get as such. But yeah, so please like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. We're posting everywhere: Instagram, X, same names, Comic Cuts on X, Superherocuts on X, same on Instagram and TikTok. Please, if you have any questions with comics, DM Comic Cuts. He will always help you out.
Recommendations, questions, anything.
Yeah, so exactly. So Jerry's actually going to be doing a video on a reading list and like
starting pack. If you want to get into Batman, these are the comics to start with. Things like that. So, and if there's a comic you want to know about or a character you want to know about, or if there's like a specific recommendation. Oh, Jerry, I want to start reading Spider-Man comics. Which one should I do? And I haven't done a video on it. Let me know. I'll DM you what I would do, and I'll also do a video on it.
Exactly.
So you have that too.
Yeah, because look, guys, we all understand that when it comes to comic books, it's hard to find online an actual like order. But that's why you have someone like Jerry, because Jerry will help you out. You know what I mean? Like, and even if you're not into comics and you want to figure out where to start, DM Comic Cuts and Jerry will, just give you some comics to just start out with. You know what I mean?
I wish I had someone like me when I started because I always wanted recommendations and I'm like picky. There's certain kinds of stories I don't like. and I would go on Reddit, and there was so much contradicting stuff. And one of the things that's funny, which you're actually going to laugh at this. So I once saw someone say like Jonathan Hickman Avengers run wasn't good, and they didn't like it. And because of that, I put off reading it. And then I saw someone else say it's like the greatest thing ever. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try it out. And that run till this day is my favorite comic run of all time. So, like I said before, 99% of the people on the internet are stupid, but we're the 1%. So you can trust us.
You're funny, bro. He said, I can't believe somebody would say that. That's wild.
Yeah, I know. It literally is the greatest comic run of all time.
Yeah. And like I'm going through the Fantastic Four Hickman run now,
You
guys.
gotta do Avengers.
And I'm sitting here and all like, bro, like what the frick is going on? Like I forget to text Jerry. I cried to one of the pages, bro. Like this stuff is like Hickman is the GOAT, man. He's the GOAT.
No one writes comics like Jonathan Hickman. He is just the GOAT. He's on another level. Like, listen, I'm not saying a lot of writers are really talented, and like my top 5, you know, but like that number 1 spot is for Hickman because he is just in a league of his own.
Yep. So, and by the way, John Hickman, if you see this, we would love to have you on.
Oh man, we said
you say the word. You say the word. Yo, I'm finna find his email. Shoot an email, bro.
Well, I'm pretty sure he deleted his Twitter because he was like, he said something like, I don't, you know, people misconstrue what I say. And because of that, it impacts how they receive my stories. So I'm deleting my Twitter. And he deleted his Twitter, something like that.
That's how you know he's committed to like his art.
Yeah. And that's how you know he's like just that, you know, he's just, his stories have like real depth to them.
Wait, is this Jonathan Hickman? This can't be.
He's got like black hair.
All he's posting is movies. I don't think this is Hickman's Instagram. Definitely not. But yeah,
he's definitely. I don't think he's probably not on Instagram, or he probably has a private family one.
Jonathan Hickman on Instagram. I think I found him.
It's JON. No. What do I find him?
Yeah, he's definitely not on here.
Yeah, I think he's like a more reserved, private type of guy.
Yeah, which is the case with most dudes that are that creative. Yeah. Like it's kind of like George, like Lucas type of stuff. Like he's always creating something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it is weird though because this Jonathan Hickman account is spelled just like his name,
and it had all the movie stuff on it. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I have a lot of mutuals with him, but it's definitely not him.
Odd.
Yeah, that is weird.
So yeah, but all right, guys, we're going to end the show here. We hope you guys have fun just hanging out with us for almost 2 hours, man. We might stream Thursday night. We'll keep you guys updated on what time we get back from VENOM. But have a good night, y'all. Stay crispy and peace out.